From the depths of internet, we come to you. Bad news, good news, dead horse beating news. Even no news will stop us. We'll make news. Even if it is in dumpster fire. We bring you integrity, except when it's EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Star Citizen, practically all of them. Movies, shows, and other industry bullshit. This totally is not a waste of time, but it sure is. Space Waste News! And do we have video? No. Oh, it doesn't switch to the fucking. Oh my god! Okay, manual switching. There we go. Folks, greetings. Space Waste News. What? Wait, hold on. The last time it worked, or did I switch last time? Ah, what the fuck ever. It's just.
I'll tell you what. You sort that out. I will welcome everyone, and you can curse and scream off mic. How about that?
Okay. Lovely.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Space Waste News for, well, it's no longer the 1st of 2021. We should probably have changed that, but it's the 2nd of 2021. And yeah, on the Twitch side. We are happy to be here, as always. I am the pilot, the held hostage co-star of the show. That's hosted by Yamix, who's totally not dangling the sword of Horsicles over my head at every given moment.
He's lying. He's got the Stockholm syndrome. He's lying, folks. He's been asking me to do things.
I won't leave him alone.
Weird things. Oh boy, what a way to start, eh? Well,
smooth jazz radio. Ooh, thank you.
Well, indeed. Right, so, in any case, right, so it's yet again another weekend without me releasing a video and or even streaming besides today, which is weird, you know, in some sort of a way, but regardless. Well, I don't know about Pilot, but I've been busy making a video for the last fucking 2 weeks or so. Yeah, fun.
I have a valid excuse. I have a note from my doctor. He says I have COVID. So, yeah, I've just been feeling miserable. So,
all I'm hearing is excuses.
Oh, it's definitely excuses, and I'm taking
exactly.
full advantage.
You're a fucking YouTuber, okay? All I hear is you don't want to produce content because you're wussing out. There you go.
Because I'm sick. Yeah,
you've
exactly.
Succumbed,
I know.
Yeah, you've succumbed not to an illness. You've succumbed to your own hype over fame and whatnot else, and you've burnt out. That's it.
That's totally it. Completely.
I mean, you know. There are just that many ways you can talk about or wax poetically about Elite, you know. So yeah,
it's true. I mean, look, I'll freely admit. I will freely admit that you are absolutely right, folks. He is absolutely right. There's only so many ways that you can, you know, just embellish and glorify Elite so much. But I fully intend to A, do the new ships when they come out, and B, try to make more stuff. The thing is, and actually the live stream yesterday kind of helped wake me up, but I sat there, I was doing those runs, I was doing a couple more jumps after the stream. I'm like, wait a minute, I kind of hate this, and I'm sad, and I don't want to do this, and blah, 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 blah. And the missus turns to me and she goes, honey, you have a headache, and you've been coughing your brains out, and you have a stomach ache, and you have the COVID, and you're sick. Of course you hate everything. And I went, oh yeah.
It's totally
it's
not
all
because
about
exploration most of the time is just absolute garbage. Totally not. I mean, okay, fine. traveling is absolute garbage. Exploration in of itself depends on what you do, of course, but still, there you go. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
no, it's definitely a mindset to it. Let's just leave it at that.
Called dementia.
So you want to tell us what we're looking? Yeah, it's dementia. You want to tell us what we're looking at?
To be cyberpunk. So, folks, in case you've lived in a cave or something, cyberpunk finally came out, and it's well, I'm gonna wait until I release my mega video about it. Yes, that is coming, as a matter of fact, and you know what? At this point, might as well transition into that topic. So, yeah, those that are wondering where the fuck are videos of yours truly, or why am I not releasing anything? Although I haven't seen any comments of that, might as well answer that. I've been literally working on a mega fucking video, which is actually, hold on, let me check right now, but it should... Oh, God, that project is gonna load forever. Right, it's about
is
an
so
hour
professional.
hour and 15 minutes already. Not counting,
Jesus.
of course, the little extra bits that I still need to, put in and so on and so forth. So, also not counting bloopers, though there aren't that many. Most of them are already in the video, so it's kind of conglomerations of it. Regardless, it's gonna be the longest video I've thus made, and it's with a lot of editing too. So, yeah, kind of starting to think whether or not it is worth making those videos, because usually, the last time no one watched it, and before that also no one watched it unless it was elite. So, yeah. Well, regardless, trying to
I have an
branch out.
answer. I know the answer. It's no.
Yeah, pretty much. So the algorithm hates me afterwards. I release a bad video and so on and so forth. So yeah, the life of a content creator on YouTube.
Exactly. As well as I know, as most people know, you're not making this for anybody else but for you, and that's okay. You're making a video for yourself so you can let your creativity out, and that's a good thing.
Not necessarily. No, obviously
Your
it's
kind, creative, sensitive, artistic soul needs to express itself, despite what anybody thinks.
Frankly, I've never heard anyone speak those words about me or around me. So
You can't get me. I have COVID.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Oh boy, but anyways, so yeah, basically, the big fucking thing is gonna be coming out sometime next week. Let's see, I should be able to, since I still got time for tomorrow and whatnot else, so I might actually be able to render it for Monday or so. So I should be able to release it sometime next week or early next week. So yay! On the side note, since Pilot, you're streaming, right, or not? Probably not.
No, this is all you, Hollywood.
Right. So yeah, basically, so yeah. I usually don't do this since if I have company that also is presenting their view and all that stuff. But since there's just me, those of you that are patrons on Patreon with specific, the 20 plus or pledge, the what was it? I called it the shoot dash chainsaw tier for the Patreon. So those with that pledge and whatnot else as well on YouTube and so on and so forth will be credited at the end of that mega video and on every other mega video in the future and so on and so forth. As long as you're pledged and so on and so forth. So if you want to be generous at at this time. Shameless plug, folks. Patreon.
There's a valid question here in the chat. Did Yemix get laid yet in Cyberpunk?
Let's see. Can you finish the game without getting laid? Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, of course.
There's your answer. Haven't tried it yet.
I want to know why there's only 2 hookers in the entirety of Night City.
Is there? Hold on. No.
There's only 2. There's the male and the female. Pull up the map.
Yeah, hold on. No. I know. Yeah, there's there's the both of them. Yeah, Joy Toys, so called.
Yeah, That's it. There's the only two in the entire city.
Oh my God, you're right.
One woman and one guy.
Wow, what a waste. Wow. Wow, what a waste.
What an overworked
Okay,
pair.
okay. Yeah. Well, that's Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe
but
I'm the only one who noticed that.
It's interesting, yeah. Huh. But no, but yeah, basically, the Cyberpunk thing is gonna be coming out soon. So if you want to be credited, you know, and be generous at the same time and all that stuff, there's the Patreon link down below and all that stuff. Check the tiers and accordingly pledge if you want. In any case, so yeah, this year actually, oh my god, this year we actually got plenty of things. And I do plan on doing also a hypercritical review for Elite Dangerous. I actually planned it, you know, before making even Doom Eternals, you know, the first hypercritical review. So yeah, expect, I think I'm gonna be splitting Elite's video in multiple parts. But yeah, it's gonna be coming and it's gonna be the biggest dead horse beating ever. And so on and so forth.
I'm shocked.
It's gonna be quite the something. Of course, I'm gonna be waiting until we got that. What was it? That stupid Odyssey update. There we go, with the space slugs and so on and so forth. So we'll see how that goes as well. But I'll probably start writing it before it comes out. So yeah. Oh boy, fun things.
It really
this
would
year.
probably be bad timing to like release a hypercritical review before the next DLC drops. I mean, yeah. There's not much we can really do.
No, it doesn't matter. If you're referring to Cyberpunk, I assume, yes?
No, I was talking about Elite.
Elite. No, it's definitely a plan to release. Well, I don't know. I had some ideas to whether or not I should release basically a hypercritical portion of it about Elite, you know, including Horizons, or maybe split the base game, Horizons, the Beyond series, and then of course, you know, so 4-part
you can't.
sort of thing. That's an option, though I'm not sure.
It's not though. You can't do that. No. Think about it. If you just break it up into DLC chunks, then you're gonna have to review Beyond the way it came out, not the way it is now, because we have no way of knowing if Odyssey is going to change some of the mechanics or anything like that of what the previous expansion.
Yeah, that is interesting indeed. Because for example, right, if we were taking, you know, lessons from the history, right, with Elite Dangerous, engineering changed fundamentally how ships are used in Elite. Right, the fact that basically doing any sort of PvP, even without, you know, Horizons back in the day, right? It just changed the way you would play regardless, because if you let's say engineered your ship and then picked up the normal version of the game, you would still have those upgrades, right? And that impacted the normal game regardless. It was just the difference that, you know, you weren't able to go to the planet's surfaces, software lock, right? Basically, yeah, the difference between Elite Dangerous base game and Horizons was simply a software lock. That's all it was. It wasn't extra DLC downloaded and so on and so forth. It all was present in the game that you downloaded. The difference is that with the key of Horizons, you were able to, yeah.
Not to mention the fact that engineering got changed, obviously, substantially, that it's no longer just a gambling
that too, on
mechanic
top
now.
of it,
Yeah.
So I did address that too. So, well, in the engineering mega video thingamajig as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, there's not much we can actually talk about with Elite that might not potentially be outdated in a month or two, which kind of kills a lot, actually.
No, the thing is, just like with Cyberpunk and just like with many other games, including, you know, let's say No Man's Sky and especially Star Citizen, basically, the way it is represented on launch or on whatever X version, right, is basically what the video will be, you know, as point in history or point in time, right? Sort of representing us. Because let's say you compare the reviews for No Man's Sky, especially back when it just came out. You know, take whatever reviewer you like, right, and compare it to basically a more recent review that has been done by somebody, right? There's a lot of differences, and I still think that those types of reviews are very crucial to stay and, you know, remain and basically represent
Yeah, well,
what the
but
game was and what were the failings of the launch, because the launch actually
That's fair.
impacts a lot, and it shows the
That's
mentality of the
absolutely fair.
company.
But that's also based entirely. It's time dependent.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you're doing a hypercritical review at launch, and that has historical markers for being important for when you released it. But if you're doing a hypercritical review of what is now the base game, literally a month before the DLC comes in, that we do not know what it will change. It's risky at best. At worst, you're going to get flooded with, holy crap, you were wrong about this, over and over and over by people who don't even bother to read the comments from other people who are saying exactly the same thing. I hate that shit, man. I hate getting, 10,000 comments all saying the same thing, because that means you not only didn't watch the video properly, but you didn't even read what everyone else was already saying. You might get traffic for it, but yeah, it's a kind of a hit, don't you think? I mean, that's my opinion. I can't really touch anything because I don't know what's going to change. You know?
It's hard to say. Honestly, it's hard to say. Well, we'll see. Essentially, I don't know. With every product, it's different, right? Some games remain the same. Some incredibly changed throughout their, history. No Man's Sky, and others, though they improve, they kind of remain the same. Skyrim, as an example. So yeah, it's I don't know. Honestly, I still find it's worth reviewing the base game and as it is, and so on and so forth. At the time it releases, of course, with Elite Dangerous, I've kind of missed that train back in the day, right? But having seen, I mean, basically, the difference between my review of, let's say, if Elite came out just now and what it would be, let's say, now, difference. I would have an extra segment in which I would basically just consider the movement, actions, and attitudes of developers as an actual segment rather than just sort of a conglomerations of everything. Because let's be honest, Elite Dangerous, for example, right? The developers have been extremely cagey, unresponsive, and basically mute almost through most of the time most of the time of development of Elite Dangerous, and that hasn't been great for a live service type of a game, especially one that is heavily
I agree.
heavily propped up by community. By people, and so on and so forth, and it's I don't know. It's
Okay,
I would be a lot
I'm
more
gonna hit you with
gentle.
multiple angles.
I'd be a lot more gentle on the developer side on the launch of the game rather than now. After seeing what the company has done, throughout the
Really?
years. Oh yes.
I gotta tell you, I'd kind of go the opposite. I think when they launched, they were a lot more tight-lipped, and I think now they've opened up a little bit. Not as much as I would like, not as much as you would like, obviously.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I think
That's
we have.
true.
I think I think the weekly broadcast with Arthur and Bruce, or whoever fills the seat for that week, I think that it's this kind of informal stream of, hey, let's just goof around and play CQC and do pop
They've
culture
been doing
reference
that
jokes.
around the middle of Horizons. Nowadays they do a bit
They
more
weren't
of it,
weekly.
but it
Yeah.
used to be that they did it regardless. So yeah,
Engagement
it's
is
just
engagement
increased
is
in
engagement.
frequency. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
well, that's you know what? That was actually my big problem, is that it's not so much that you're not telling us anything, it's that there's no evidence that you're listening. But if you do a weekly broadcast where everyone's asking the same question and they publicly turn around and say, "We hear you," we're just not ready to answer just yet. That's an answer in its own right, and something I can accept. And actually, I have an interesting angle here. If you want to go that route of, and this is the conversation we have all the time of a game should be reviewed constantly as it develops and changes. If you want to do a state of the game for Elite Dangerous before Odyssey hits, for historical accuracy and relevancy, and say this is what it is right now. We don't know if it'll change, but keep in mind this is what it looks like now, and how long it's taken to not change or change depending on what happens in the next couple months. That is an interesting angle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no easy way to do it, and then again, reviewing the damn thing every constant, update or after every update. I mean, in a way, we all kind of do, but and that takes into account that we are still there within the community or within the game universe, playing the damn thing and using the product and so on and so forth. So there's that. But yeah, well,
I still want my player council. I still want the player council. I really do.
Player council.
It would do.
Player council. I see. Yes.
Yes, council.
Not console. Ha!
I'm not saying console. Am I mumbling? Am I slurring my words here?
No,
it must be the COVID.
It was just...
It must be the Rona.
I see. No, yeah, fair enough. I doubt that would... Now, technically, we already have that. I mean, we have creator circle thing, that the creators got invited to, except yours truly's, and
And me.
has anything... Well, exactly. You and me,
Yeah.
Not truly, but truly's. Multiples. Very broken English here. But anyways.
You were asking me if anything came about that front. I got a firm and definitive no.
Oh, they actually came and told you, no, we're not gonna take you in on the circle.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Again, feel free not to answer any further than that, but did they tell you why?
They're full. That was the official answer I got. Because
again, feel free not to answer any further, as I always say. But what the fuck do they mean that their favoritism bunch is full?
I don't know. And you know what? It's none of my business anyway. And realistically, you could tell me to screw off with any kind of reason, and I could keep asking why and why and why, and it's none of my business. It is what it is.
I don't know how to even take that. They can't take you because their seats are, quote unquote, digital seats are full. There's a limited amount of people they can favoritize as a company.
Like I said, man, there's always going to be an
I
argument.
cannot describe how actually insulting that sort of response is.
I choose to be optimistic and thank them for an answer and move on with my day.
Fair enough.
Nope.
That's you.
No point
but
dwelling on it.
That's not me. I that sounds extremely disingenuous. Hey, we are literally just favoritizing specific creators, or basically almost every creator out there, and too bad.
Except for you.
Too bad, Creator X. We would love to take you on, but first we need to kick someone out or get someone out of that group in order to get you in. The fuck? Elite! Frontier! What is your PR guys doing? Or whatever you talked with. Just, what the fuck? Oh my god. Okay,
you know what?
I'm not going to go any further than
fairness.
that, but fuck me, Jesus.
You know what it is? I know exactly what it means. And the answer is actually going to be kind of disappointing. Are you ready?
Mm.
What this means is that when that rep turns around and says they're full, it means that for the corporate program that they had to write down, we intend to do XYZ for promotion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna grab, I don't know, 10.
Elgato stream decks and give them to every single participant. Yes.
Right. Right. So we're just going to pick out, and they pulled a random number and said, let's say 10. And, we're going to roll out with this PR program. And me coming in far after the game, after the picks are over, and we already have 10 people. We don't need another one. Thank you very much. There's no consideration for relevance or anything like that. It's not even remotely personal. It's just literally the arbitrary number said we're already full, which is most of what the world is. It's most of what life is. You're running into bureaucracy that was chosen arbitrarily because someone picked a random number. There's no thought behind it.
No, I completely understand. I've been in this position, as a matter of fact. I've been in a position where basically a company, Paradox Interactive, sponsored, yours truly for a stream and so on and so forth, and they had a set amount of budget and a set amount of, people according to that budget that they could pull in for an event, and and so on and so forth. That is understandable. But here we are talking about basically pulling in creators of the community to give them basically a relatively early access of whatever digital garbaggio that they want to push on people, so that you give them free PR and have a slightly easier way to contact the company people,
the devs.
Thing.
Yeah.
And sure, those that don't know, they basically give also the people that they invited some swag or what else as an extra thing. But if that's literally the reason why, fine.
I don't know, man. I mean,
genius.
Look,
that's all I can say is genius.
It's also not even remotely personal. Like I see in the chat here, you're like, oh, you need to kiss ass more, or you can't be critical and, damn them and favoritism and blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's actually far more mundane than that. There's no sinister, like, oh, we're only going to exclude that one guy. No. It's just
there's
literally,
a little bit of that. There is a little bit of that, like it or not, but there is. With every company, with every PR rep, there always is. Like it or not, basically the way PR happens, and sure, Violet may have this rose-tinted, whatever look on the world, but no, it's not. You see, if you look at some bigger, content creators on the YouTube when they review games and are, known for their a bit more honest approach and rather less suck-uppy approach, not IGN, basically. Essentially, they get, basically, in the company, there's a PR rep, that handles basically review copies and so on and so forth to, these creators, whatever they are, right? And, that person loves working with the creators. They basically know what each creator makes and how they make the work, and maybe are fans of them. Then their beloved, or, well, at least respected creator makes a very bad review of their product, and that PR rep, gets his panties in a twist. And that happens more often than you might think. And that PR rep forever remembers that and completely cuts out that creator out of the loop. However, when that PR rep decides to move on to a different job or a different position and gets replaced and what else, a new PR rep comes in with the same fresh perspective. And until you sort of rub that person the wrong way, they will not cut you off. And there are different people around, and I'm not specifically aiming at any of the companies. But basically, the way PR often happens is you're good with them until you either rub the company the wrong way or that person that you contact with the wrong way. That's the funniest shit sometimes.
I want to be clear. Yes, you're absolutely right, and people do hold grudges. And by the way, you forgot to mention that when that PR person who had a grudge with you leaves the company, they'll take their grudge about you to the new
On to the
company
next
too, and block you
company.
there.
Yeah. So if
I
they are
will totally
retaining
give
the
it to you.
same, position, or let's say,
Yeah.
PR rep
So-
position.
I totally understand that. And the thing is, I need to be clear. I'm not making excuses for Frontier, and I'm not trying to retroactively suck up to them or anything like that. What's happening is I'm currently in a societal system where way too many people are believing in silly conspiracy theories and things that are rigged. And it's important to me that, people acknowledge truth. And unfortunately, the truth is just really far more mundane, that it's not malicious to exclude me. It's just, it's not malice. It's just, overlooking. That's all.
No, of course, there's of course, obviously,
Yeah.
the budget considerations that, for example, especially with Paradox, and I do really respect Paradox, and I love to work with them more and more, and whatnot else. And there are issues with them, but that's more to do with tools they kind of use. But regardless, that's beside the point. They usually, they usually have, from what I understand, a budget to, hand out to, or rather to do a promotion for a event or something like that. And, that depends on whether or not, you can pull in one creator or 10, or, work with company X for promotion or not, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it often just goes down with, hey, we give you this, much budget. There's this event coming up. Please promote it the best you can, and it's up to these managers, if you will, and whoever is handling all that stuff to,
it's get it out
decide
the
what
door,
to
not
do.
get the best possible team ever.
Sure, yeah.
It's
always
yeah.
pragmatic. Well, it's usually pragmatic stuff. So,
For the record, chat, we will not be naming the people that we do know are in this group, because that's none of our business.
it's up to
Or
them
not
to,
ours
disclose that if they want
Yeah.
to. If you want to recognize who they are usually people who, manage to get the early release of a video when something drops, clearly. However, I usually get about a video up in about an hour and so on and so forth. And I can clearly tell you, I'm not in this group. Or any groups,
Fair
as
enough.
a matter of fact. So
We should move
yeah.
on.
Right. Well, that actually took a little bit longer than that. Anyways, on some side notes and news about gaming in general. As a matter of fact, if you are one of those people who play Counter-Strike, just like yours truly from time to time, Counter-Strike Go, that is, the global offensive thingamajig, and now you may spot that in competitive and wingman missions, matches rather, you won't see bots pop up anymore whenever somebody leaves. And this has been an interesting change for Counter-Strike. Because back in the day, right, and up until literally this point, Counter-Strike Go, basically every time somebody leaves a match, abandons it, and so on and so forth, the person gets replaced by a, relatively speaking, really, really shitty AI bot. That barely can, kill anything at times. However, usually people that die within that match can actually take over that bot. And usually that is in instances where, hey, well, fuck it, let's just rush B quickly. One of us are on our team, check out the things and, die quickly, clearly, or maybe succeed. Either which case, it's a no risk sort of a tactic, if you will. And then you take over the bot, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's often a strategy to just try and make the bot sort of stay in the spawn, not to get killed immediately. However, now Valve has chosen to take out the bots from these, again, competitive and wingman matches. Argument oftentimes is said that, hey, that bot is, useless, hey, it's shitty that people leave, and so on and so forth. People are split on basically that decision. Personally speaking, it's kind of shitty whenever in any kind of a game, person leaves, because either A, they didn't like the teammates, or B, they didn't get what they wanted. think of Among Us, imposters, for example, right? And so on and so forth. So at this point, having not, or rather having no extra life, if you will, in a way is kind of a good thing. On the other hand, it literally cruel now, and I'll try and do it myself. But immersive sims, essentially, they create, or rather, well, their staple essentially is to create an environment with, simulated environments, check, with variety of abilities to, progress through whatever obstacles you have been put in front of, right? And,
Holy shit, YouTube came back.
Fucking YouTube, man. I know, right? Anyways, immersive sim.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, if we take an example from Deus Ex Human Revolution as well, can you in Cyberpunk accomplish missions without shooting or killing or neutralizing people,
Yes.
without stealthing and talking through? The important
Wait.
thing is, can you talk through a quest?
No.
That is
But wait, that's
one
your
of the staples.
very narrow
no,
definition.
It's not a very narrow
You
definition.
did.
It's
No. You
Pilot,
totally did, because you
please.
turned around and you said,
Pilot,
can you do
please.
it without stealth? Go ahead. Fine.
my point is, that's one. Another one is using props and such to accomplish certain actions and so on and so forth. Can you... Well, stealth is another one that I can get into as to how it doesn't work in Cyberpunk and so on and so forth, but I do. The point is that talking is one of the examples. There are other options. The point is that essentially the game forces you to use combat or stealthing around as accomplishing the, mission. You can't just go through the whole game without, killing, or rather attempting combat situation.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Yes.
There, and this is spoilers if you are interested in Cyberpunk's side lore. There is an option early on where you have to go deal with Maelstrom to.
That is
go
the
get a
first
part.
curated mission, and that is so fucking curated. It's
I'm getting there.
disgusting. But anyways, carry on.
I'm
Yes.
getting there. I'm getting there.
Yes.
There's a sub option to go rescue the previous boss of the gang that you don't actually have to do, and in fact, you can miss it quite easily. But if you do, later on, when you're doing a totally different subquest, there's where you have to go get a reporter. Okay, she's in the middle of interviewing the head of the Maelstrom gang, and if you let the other guy out, then it'll be him, and he'll go, "Oh, I owe you." Okay, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
leave.
he shows up later on. Yes.
You can take the reporter and you walk out of the place like nothing ever happened. It's actually a fairly boring mission because there's nothing to do. You literally walk in, go talk to them for 2 seconds, and then he kicks you out with her.
And then you walk around and see that there are multiple paths shown, or rather placed in that map, essentially, to accommodate somewhat of a stealthy combat thing.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird.
And you could just run in. Yeah, you're like, what the hell? Why is this? Turns out, if you didn't free him, it'll be the other guy, and he's going to be very pissed off at you no matter what. And so the minute that you sit down, he's going to initiate combat, and you're going to have to fight your way out of that club and keep her alive, the reporter alive. That is emergent. That is getting out of the mission by talking. That is changing the narrative path based on choices that have been made. Yes? No?
That's not talking your way through a quest, however, but okay.
It is. There are chat options to basically, you can go the combat route even if you've done everything right by basically telling them to go screw off. But, you can change the gameplay via conversation. And by the way, there are places in Deus Ex where you can't avoid combat either. No matter what.
Oh no, in Deus Ex as well. The more typical immersion sims, there are moments where you literally have to, and so on and so forth, or rather when the game sort of forces you. But that's being caged in oftentimes.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that if we're comparing the two directly, Deus Ex and Cyberpunk, and saying that Deus Ex is more immersive gaming because of the emergent gaming patterns.
It's not more
immersive.
No. The word immersive.
I said immersion. I said immersion. I said immersive sim. I used the correct terminology that you just dinged me for. If it's a more immersive sim because of the emergent gameplay, I'd say you're wrong.
You're confusing the immersive sim term with the words alone as immersive and word sim. The
I'm
thing
not.
is,
I'm using the definition you gave me off Wikipedia. You can grumble at me all you want. It's true.
fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. It's been. Oh God, so is long. It's almost fucking an hour. Jesus Christ. In any case, I stand by my sort of note that Cyberpunk is a pretender for immersive sim category and so on and so forth. If you want to, see more proper immersive sims, go through, or take a look at Deus Ex Original one.
We agree.
Kind of an Invisible War, I guess, as well. But regardless, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Dishonored, Thief games, and System Shock. System Shocks and so on and so forth. Those were the originators, essentially, of the term immersive sim. It's not widely used, but, since we are talking about, Cyberpunk, and essentially it's the way it tried to, present itself and market itself. It's, it tried to be heavily compared with, other immersive sims and having that prestige of immersive sims, if you will. But anyways, whatever. Fuck it.
Chat's like, we joined an immersive conversation.
Yeah, very immersions. But yeah, basically, the one thing that lacks in Cyberpunk is essentially a creative way to deal with, basically the environment and, of course, the problems that is a big portion of immersive sim. Essentially, you're, providing player with tools, and you really don't have a way to go around in a creative way around the problems. Even fucking Skyrim has more than that. You literally can use props to accomplish many interesting things with them, like, again, putting, let's say, a kettle on the vendor's head so that he doesn't see you while you steal his shit. That's a great example of it. And Skyrim is not an immersive sim. But regardless, point is...
Wait, I mean, I could go park a car next to a building and jump on top of it and use it to get onto the roof. Isn't that using tools of the environment?
It's essentially the thing is, Star Citizen. God damn it, what's wrong with my brain? Cyberpunk has
lots of stuff, by the way.
Yeah, Cyberpunk essentially has a multiple route entry into a play area, and that has been designed, and some of it is actually okay-ish. However, most of it was very well those routes and so on and so forth, and the double jump is actually a questionable fucking thing that I don't think they intended to be used.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It breaks the game, which is weird. But
so badly,
right? Anyway, I love using it myself, right? Because it breaks the game, right? But yeah, so anyways, yeah. In comparison to, again, Deus Ex and so on and so forth, you can't really use the existing tools, abilities, and so on and so forth in a creative way to go around or accomplish specific tools. Damn it! Oh, fuck. There was this one great example of, back in the day, I think it was Warren Spector, when he presented the original, I think it was either System Shock or was it Deus? God damn it, I don't forget which, one of the games that he worked on, one of the first ones. I think it was Deus Ex or something like that, where he presented essentially a level that could not be completed, that they designed not to be completed, and through using tools and abilities, a player was able to showcase that it is completable, and they were, weirded out by it. However, that sort of a moment took on and sort of shaped the whole game as we know it. I think
this is just evidence that why playtesters are valuable, and how obviously the playtest team was not respected enough to be listened to.
Oh God! If you're talking about playtesting and so on and so forth, the good old Valve's motto of iteration has to be taken into account as well. And
I love that Portal's playtest team was like the top of the chain. So much so that if you watch if you play the director's commentary version of the game,
Mhm.
you go into different chambers and they tell you
Yeah,
outright.
the exit
Yeah,
commentary tracks, those are wonderful.
I love those. That was such a great feature. He turns around, he goes, yep. So it turns out our playtesters were buzzing through this room in less than 6 seconds, and we could not figure out how until we found out that all you have to do is shoot a portal here, and you're basically done with the level. And none of us had seen it. Yeah.
Which room was that, if you remember?
I think it was like the third chamber, but
Oh,
also,
I know. I think I
years
know
ago.
which one you mean. The one with the stairs.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah, the stair thing, where basically you have a lift that could take you. Well, rather that you need to activate and then whatnot else. But they sort of left a portable surface next to it, I think. Or regard. Anyways, yeah, playtesting,
No,
and so-called iteration that makes Valve's games so great is again that they
obviously
literally play
that
through
a
them.
lot of that is obviously a lot of that is missing in Cyberpunk, and they probably could have taken more
God,
time
don't
to
even
refine that.
mention it. Open
But the
world games
chat
are
here brings up
hard to iterate. I get it, but Jesus fucking Christ, then
yeah, some of these are obvious. Yeah,
yeah.
like the double jump. But the chat here brings up a good point. He goes, they do provide some tools. There's a quest with a psycho. I lured him into his own minds with my completely peaceful hacking tools. And I mean, yes, I know you understand what you're saying is that there's a lot of options for completing a mission, but that you're still definitively
Okay,
locked
Okay,
into certain
let's take
parameters.
that same distraction method. You're using already provided tools and designed way to accomplish a narrative or well a mission in this case, because luring is a designed feature, and in a few actually missions there are plenty of. Actually, the environment usually is littered with distraction items and so on and so forth. And the funny thing is, you can't distract more than one person on one distraction device, which is fucking retarded. But let's not talk about that just yet. Fact is, you can't pick up props like in, let's say, Deus Ex or even Skyrim and throw them.
And throw them.
And the thing is, if you could throw item and literally have enemy distracted by that in a interesting way, and then later on maybe kill them with a prop or make them go unconscious by I don't know throwing poop at them or something like that, or whatever other item you found or stacked on top of whatever other fucking thing as he goes into it. That would be interesting. For example, you can do these things in some smaller or bigger way, as a matter of fact, in Dishonored. That's a great game to showcase how stealth alone sort of forced the game to go into an immersion sim category, basically.
Okay,
So-
but like he says, like again, this guy in the chat, you're good. Emergent gameplay always comes from mechanics of the game. If the feature,
Yes,
if the mechanic is
clearly,
just not
yes.
there, then you can't do anything about it. Yes, you can't take out your own crap and fling it like a monkey. I don't consider that a particular negative. I mean, I love using the EL wire, the mechanical arms, the blades, the mantis blades, the EL wire, all that stuff. I think that's an interesting mechanic, but it has nothing to do with
But it has
Dishonored
extremely
didn't have
limited
blades that
things.
came out of my hands,
Right.
Come on.
A good example of emergent gameplay, right? Emergent gameplay would be using tools in ways that they are not exactly designed to be used. Good example is double jump. But no, seriously though, not counting the double jump. No. It's in Skyrim, for example, even though it's not an immersive sim, it has emergent gameplay. A great example is Fusroda. Technically, it's
I was gonna say the bucket on the head.
Oh, that's perfect. That's a perfect example. But another example is Fusroda.
Exactly.
The way you can use both prop manipulation through, again, the force push to force something or someone off a place or onto a place creates this sort of emergent gameplay where you can accomplish interesting things with said tools. Here in Cyberpunk, let's say, well, there is no force pushing props, or there's no particular way. There's not even. I wouldn't say, yeah, there's not even NPC controlling hacks that would allow for interesting interactions. There's only the
Yes, there is.
there's only cyber psychosis quick hack tool, and that's even questionable one. So yeah,
No,
it'd
no,
be
no, 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 no.
eh,
Well, first of all, obviously you're not a shotgun player. No, which is surprising.
I love
Shockingly, actually, I
shotguns.
thought
Yeah,
you'd be like.
I love shotguns.
I know. I
But
thought
yeah,
you'd be a
they were
shotgun
too
build.
weak. They were too weak in comparison to the fucking one-hit kill headshot revolvers, okay, or wall hack
All right, that's fair.
snipers, okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's actually a feature. The tech snipers are supposed to go through walls and canisters,
It's
but whatever.
retarded. But anyways, carry on.
Well, anyway, shotguns was my second playthrough. Shotguns can easily punch NPCs off the side of a building.
Oh yeah, they can. They can.
Which,
yeah.
yeah, and I mean it's very much a, yeah, it's a faux rodat, essentially. It does a little bit of, it does enough damage, but
does a
it
lot
also
of damage.
flung them off
Usually,
the
to
environment.
knock
Yeah.
NPCs off, you have to deal a significant amount of damage. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is emergent gameplay, just probably not the one that you're happy with. You understand what I'm
And
saying?
those that don't
Just to
know,
say that
emergent
it's-
gameplay is player-created gameplay, which Elite Dangerous often talks about, and as a matter of fact, Elite basically has very little emergent gameplay, even though developers rely on it heavily. But anyways, carrying on. Yeah.
I would argue that. Okay, so hold on a minute. I'm gonna say Skyrim, New Vegas, and maybe
Bethesda
Fallout
games,
4.
yeah, Bethesda games.
Okay, Bethesda games. These are emergent games that are fondly loved, even 5, 10, 15 years after the fact. Yes.
Emergent games. The thing is, with Fallout, it's hard.
I just need a quick yes or no on that one.
You need a soundbite. How you don't need a nuanced look. Okay, well, in that case, sure.
Okay. I would argue that Cyberpunk, maybe not this build of it, but Cyberpunk in 5, 10, 15 years of time will be just as loved as all those games. As it'll be a nice little playground to mess around in.
That is a questionable thing. Again, sure, there's
Especially
always
with
a
mods.
no. The funny thing is, there's always a potential. True, there's always a potential that Cyberpunk will go on in its lifetime to become another No Man's Sky, and that has happened already. Literally, even worse launch than Cyberpunk's has happened. And basically a recovery story has happened through that. But will Cyberpunk end up on that same note is hard to say. However, I'm not saying it is not possible. But it's very unlikely, I'd say. So.
Wasn't there supposed to be a feature where we remote control an NPC?
No, I don't think so. There's no
Yeah,
way
I'm pretty
you
sure
can
there was.
control NPCs.
I was pretty sure I saw a clip where you could take the EL wire arm thing and fling it at someone, and it goes to the back of their neck, and you control them.
Oh God, I've not
No, I
used
saw
that
that somewhere.
fucking thing. Need to examine it, but at least from the quick hacks, there's no remote control thing. You can only incentivize, psychosis in them, and that's it. So that's great. But yeah, but no. The thing is, with Cyberpunk, the problem with Cyberpunk is that the time and the world has changed quite a bit. Again, we've had Skyrim, we had No Man's Sky, and fucking Fallout 76 and other games that literally came out extremely broken. And through the years, especially now, we can see with Cyberpunk, people have recognized that it's not fucking cool when a company, delivers this product in a broken state, no matter whether they promised a lot out of it or didn't. With Skyrim, we forgive Skyrim, or rather remember when it launched, we forgave it a lot. Because the company, first of all, didn't promise us the world, like with Cyberpunk, damn it, or Fallout 76, for example. However, Fallout 76, from the same company, was the promise of these great things, and was a failure.
It wasn't.
And
it wasn't from the same. It was from the same head company.
it was
but
from the
that game
Bethesda Softworks.
That game was developed by a number of B studios that
well,
were garbage,
yeah,
and you know it.
There was, yeah, times had changed,
Yeah.
certainly, but
It's a Korean
technically
MMO
has
that
the
had
same,
the Fallout
same
assets on
developer
top of it.
name. Sure, people change, but 16
Anyway,
times the detail.
I have to actually get going. Let's wrap it up.
All right, then. Well, it's been an hour and some minutes and so on and so forth. There's a little bit of topics left. Basically, if you are a fan of Stalker, like I am, there's a new in-game or in-engine trailer, which basically just showcases lighting and details and textures that they are putting into the new game that is coming out technically this year, and I'm interested in it. Very much so. Also, Stalker is not an immersive sim, even though it has open world and so on and so forth. But anyways, the point is, it's coming out this year, hopefully. Another game that should be coming out this year, also much like Everspace, is Redout Space Assault, which is also a space combat game. Quite literally the same sort of a thing as, I would say it's closer to Star Wars Squadrons. Though the date hasn't been announced, unlike for Everspace. Right. Right. Also, in the last weeks, probably you heard, seen news that Flash has been discontinued completely. Sure, you can still install Flash and so on and so forth and play the games, but you know, it's discontinued and there's no more updates. It's dead, as they say. So. Last time to pick up those old flashy game thingies that you liked as a kid or an adult, whichever you are right now. But anyways, and the final little bit is yes, Epic Store actually had I think it was update. Yeah, I think it was one of the updates that they introduced, and basically it overheated PCs. They haven't released a patch just yet to fully fix it, but a hot fix to semi-fix it. So if you like Epic Store, or rather hate Epic Store, there's another reason not to use it, which is overheating your PC, or turn it off immediately, basically. Genius! So yeah, that's about it on the Space Race news. That's it from my end on the topics, I think. Yeah.
I think I'm good.
All right, so, well, that's it for this week. I'll have to say a couple of thanks to a couple of generous peoples. But before I do go and check out Pilot's channel, his content, and so on and so forth. You see the name on the screen. That's exactly him, and so on and so forth. Damn it, I don't have the link on you.
That's okay.
Well, regardless, he's easy to find. And go check him out for this new year. You know, he probably will get 50,000 after all, and more if he keeps on making videos, of course, and doesn't die. You know, that'd be nice, right? But on serious note,
I appreciate it, man. He doesn't want me to die. That's a compliment from Yemix if you're ever gonna get one. Please don't die.
Fair enough. Well, exactly. Yeah. Stay safe, you know, and all that stuff. Wash your hands. You know, wash everything. Be clean, and well, unless you don't go out at all, then you can stink up the room or whatever else. And
sounds like
we'll
a lot
see
of
you
effort.
basically next week. Just the same as Cyberpunk hypercritical review that I'll be putting out relatively soon. So yeah. If you want to support more of the content I make and so on and so forth, or Pilot as well, check out our Patreons. There, at least mine is down below. Pilot's is on his end. So yeah, that's about it.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah, and for the end of the stream, I got to say big thanks to Nope of all Nopes for subscribing there, as well as the Hawk also for resubscribing there. Really appreciate your contribution there, and yeah. That's about it for this week. I'll try and stream sometime next week, as a matter of fact. We could actually do the Cyberpunk special. I don't know. I'll try and get
that'd be
Charlatan
fun.
on. I could try and get Charlatan on so he can talk more about the immersion since he's a bit more familiar with that. But regardless, we'll see. That aside, guys, take care, and we'll see you next week, definitely. unless we all die.
Bye.
A meteor strikes the earth and all that stuff. You know, you
I'll
never
let you know if I die
Armageddon
beforehand.
can happen. That movie still can happen. All right.